welcome to this video. My name is Becca if you're new here. If not, hello again. If you came for the latte art, you came to the wrong place. But if you came to hear some similarities and differences between Vancouver, BC and Auckland, then you did come to the right place. So a couple of disclaimers to start. I want to kind of like lay out where my mind and heart is in this, because I feel like when we moved to New Zealand, we really like put some really deep roots down. Like we settled in and we loved it there, and unfortunately we kind of had to like forcefully uproot our lives, and I think that has kind of tainted our mindset coming here to Vancouver. Just a little bit. Both cities are absolutely incredible and a lot of people love both places. So I wanted to say that if some of my points sound a little bit more negative towards Vancouver, I'm still learning to love it here, and I'm still trying to get fully settled and put more roots down and get my heart sunk down deep into the city, because yeah, we're very new here. The next little point is that I don't really like to compare cities because every place is completely different. It's kind of comparing like apples to oranges. But I do want to share a video talking about the similarities and differences that I've noticed between Vancouver and Auckland, because these two places are eerily similar in a lot of ways and it's kind of freaky. So jumping into some similarities. The first one is the weird fact that both places have a North Shore. It's like very strange. If you look at it on a map, they kind of seem identical. Like you have the North Shore that's the more kind of like beautiful, it has more nature, it's a little bit more wealthy. And then you have this single bridge that goes down to like the downtown, the main part of the city. They both have the exact same issue of creating a like turtleneck, is that what it's called? Of traffic. And so yeah, both cities can't seem to figure out that problem. It's just very strange how even though they're on opposite sides of the world, we happen to move from one city to the next where it is kind of very similar geographically, like landlocked, whatever. Next similarity is that they are both very expensive in the house market department, because unfortunately there just isn't a lot of room geographically for both of these places to keep growing houses. So it's not like Houston where they can just keep expanding and growing because Texas has so much land to it. Both of these places are very landlocked, well, sea locked. Auckland, obviously it's an island, they can't really go much further. And then here you have mountains on one side, you have the ocean on the other, you have the US border, and then the only place to grow really is east. And I mean, how far until it's untenable to be able to commute downtown if you happen to work downtown? The effect of that is that the house market is very disheartening. You have like the average $1 million house here, and yeah, it's just kind of a mess in both places. Another similarity that I thought was kind of like, it was shocking to me when I moved to Auckland, but it was so weird that they had multiple kind of like homes and family units on a single like tiny little lot of land. But here, since moving to Vancouver, it kind of doesn't shock me at all now because I'm used to it. But sometimes they'll have 4 units on a single little like house lot. Like they'll have the main house, but then the basement they've divided into 2 separate suites, and then they have the laneway in the back. So it is just a huge cash cow if you are able to afford a house. Next similarity is the obvious like metric system. As an American, I feel like this is a little sacrilegious to say, but I love the metric system. It makes so much more sense. It is universal. It's incredible. The imperial system sucks. But yeah, so the fun things like Celsius and kilometers and kilograms and all those good things apply here as well, which is great because I have gotten used to it and I do love it. Next is that there's so much to do outdoors, which I am so incredibly grateful for. Having access to really nice outdoors makes for a very nice life. Like I so much more value living in a place that you can get out and have outdoor time. Just makes for a happy person. Both of them are very rich with nature and very, very stunningly beautiful places to go and see. Next one is traffic. I couldn't tell you which one is worse, like Auckland versus Vancouver. Honestly, I probably would say that they're about the same. Like if you go at a non-peak time, you're gonna deal with more traffic than I would like, but it's not like haltingly terrible. However, in both cities, I would try to avoid leaving the house at certain times, like obviously the peak traffic times. And really there's no way of avoiding it, which is frustrating. Next is universal healthcare. So, I mean, they both do have it, and I will talk more about the differences between them in the differences section, and I'll just leave this one at this point. Next is that they have very similar coffee culture, which I am very happy about. I was raised Mormon, and we didn't drink coffee, and when I first tried it as an adult, like well into my 20s, I thought coffee was disgusting. But that's because I was having like American drip coffee. I don't know. But then we moved to New Zealand and I tried some of their like espressos and their flat whites, and I am a fan. So much so that we actually like got our own espresso machine for our house, which is so excessive. But we use it every single day. We love it. It's incredible and it's just awesome. So I was really sad to move back to like the US and back over to the West and be like, oh man, I gotta go back to drip coffee. Like this sucks. But no, the coffee culture here is thriving. Like there are so many cute little cafes. It is very common to be able to go out and get a very good cup of coffee. So happy. Another similarity is just like the mountains. The idea of the mountains in both places is incredible. I don't know. I love living next to them. They just have so much to do in them. So I'm very grateful that both places have beautiful, stunning mountains that you can go and explore. Next similarity is obviously they're both Commonwealth countries, and so they have a lot of the British influence, which is very fun as an American. But New Zealand definitely has a lot more of this because here in Vancouver, obviously they do have a lot of the US influence, and so it's kind of this like weird muddled mix of both, and it's just not as strong, so it's not as quirky and fun to us. Next is that neither Auckland nor Vancouver really get snow. So yes, they get a ton of snow in the mountains, but it doesn't really snow too much down here. We actually haven't been through a winter here yet. I've heard that it's very rainy, just like Auckland is, and kind of like dark and depressing, but it doesn't actually snow too terribly much, so I've heard. Next similarity is that they have incredible seafood. So when we were in Auckland, we were very much so like vegan and then vegetarian. So unfortunately, we didn't actually get to try that much seafood, which I kind of regret now. Since moving here, it's everywhere and it is very fresh and delicious and incredible. And I'm glad that I'm able to eat it. The next fun one is that there's so much good Asian food. You can throw a rock and hit a really good Asian food place, and that's the same in Auckland as well. And maybe that's because we lived right off of Dominion Road, but like there are so many good Asian food places there. Okay, on to the differences. So obviously there's the big one of like you drive on the opposite side of the road. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know, you get used to it really fast, but it is a difference. I would say for sure that Vancouver has a lot more diversity. It is so fun, the amount of cultures and people that have all meshed together in the city. Auckland had more diversity than the rest of New Zealand, but New Zealand just doesn't have an incredible wealth of diversity. They have the wonderful Maori culture, but here it is incredible. A huge difference that I'm very sad about is that in Auckland and New Zealand, they have free childcare. So they have 20 hours for free when your kid turns 3 and up, and they call it kindergarten. It's 20 hours that they watch your child because they know that it benefits the child, it benefits the parent, and it benefits all of society. Whereas here, it has been a nightmare because not only do you have to pay for it, which sucks, and also prices out a whole lot of people from being able to access that, you also have the added layer of there aren't enough daycares here, and so like you just hear nightmare stories of waiting 4 years on a wait list before their toddler is able to go to preschool. So I feel like I have no chance of getting my toddler into preschool. Honestly, it is life-changing to be able to get a few hours to yourself. You feel like a whole new human, and I just feel like that's not really an option for me here. So that does make me very sad. Next difference is that a lot of people are not happy with the healthcare here in Vancouver. This could be a whole separate video unto itself. Like, we haven't really had too much run-in with the healthcare here yet. We were in New Zealand for 2 years and I had a baby there. I had my toddler go to the ER 3 different times and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It was all free or relatively cheap, and nothing negative to say. I know some people have some bad stories. I feel like that's not like the overarching theme over there. Whereas here, there are simply not enough doctors to go around. And so it is impossible to get a GP in the first place. And it's like they have this workaround where they have these walk-in clinics if you need help. However, you can't even just walk into the walk-in clinics now because they're so overrun ever since COVID, yada, yada, yada. So like you have to book an appointment at the walk-in clinics to be able to go and get help. And it's like, can I even get an appointment, or is it going to take 2 weeks to go? You know, it's just a nightmare and a mess. And I was really hoping that it was not the case because I heard about these nightmare stories and I'm like, oh, surely not Vancouver. Like, Vancouver is was perfect. Not that I actually thought it was perfect, but you know what I'm trying to say. It just doesn't function very well, unfortunately. A couple little food differences that we've noticed. You can get very good Mexican food here. You can get a really good pizza, which is another thing that we were very sad about in New Zealand. There's a very big lack of really good pizza. Auckland wins in the chocolate department. Whitaker's has my heart forever. Apparently you can find Whitaker's here. I haven't actually gotten my hands on it yet, so. Next is that it is a lot harder to get goods and products in Auckland. So Vancouver, obviously you have the whole like consumeristic American giant right underneath it, and so we have access to pretty much everything we can hope for here. Whereas in Auckland, obviously a lot of it has to be shipped over, so then it becomes a lot more expensive. And another crazy thing about Auckland is that the food there fluctuates prices so much due to seasonality and everything. Whereas here it's a lot more American in that sense, where it's like whatever you want is at the grocery store and you can get it, and it doesn't fluctuate nearly as much. The next thing is that obviously Vancouver is a lot closer to the US. I mean, duh, but this one kind of blew our minds. Like, we didn't realize that it's only like a 30-minute drive down to the border. It is insanely close, which is really nice for us because all of our family is in the US. And so it just feels a lot simpler and easier and cheaper to be able to go and see our family, and vice versa. Like, our family can come and see us, and it's not this huge burden of flying to the other side of the world and spending thousands of dollars. So that is greatly appreciated, and we really love that because obviously in Auckland it's the opposite. Next big difference is that Vancouver, a lot of people love the public transport here. It's a lot better run, and they just got it a little more figured out. Whereas in Auckland, everybody hates it there. It was kind of nice during COVID. They dropped the prices of like the buses and trains and stuff, but they have recently put it back up to the normal fare, and it's shocking how much it costs. Like, at that point, it is cheaper just to drive your car, which defeats the whole purpose of public transport because, you know, you're trying to lessen the amount of cars, whatever. It's kind of a mess over there. There's not enough of it and it's too expensive. Whereas here, there is a lot more of it. And that leads into the next point. Biking is huge here in Vancouver. We knew some people that love to bike in Auckland, but a lot of people will actually bike into work every day. The layout and the infrastructure is there for bikers, so it's a lot safer. There's just a bigger biker culture here, which is really nice because like Billy actually bikes into work. That means that we don't have to think about buying a second car, and it saves us a lot of money. It's good exercise for him. It's just a big win all around, and so I really like that here. Another funny thing is that the bridge up to the North Shore here has a biking lane, whereas in Auckland it does not, which is a big source of contention for certain people. Next is that Vancouver has so many like mammals. Like Auckland, it's mainly just birds, which is very cool and magical. But here you have like squirrels and coyotes, cougars, bears. Like, I actually really miss the safe feeling of Auckland because you can go on hikes and different things and you don't have to worry about being eaten, and you don't have to carry bear spray. The last big difference that I've noticed that I think is so funny because I love both of these things. I mean, who doesn't? But Auckland loves ice cream. Like, they have funny statistics about how much ice cream people in New Zealand eat, and here in Vancouver it's donuts. I love donuts and I love ice cream. If I had to choose between the two, I think I would have to pick donuts. I don't know, I just feel like they are the cultivation, the pinnacle of human creation. Ice cream is just delicious and it's comforting and wonderful, and I will eat it every day if I could. Donuts, I don't know, there's a little more like craftedness to it. You have the balance of a lot of different things going on, and it just makes the perfect treat. Yeah, they have a lot of funny statistics about donuts here in Canada and Vancouver, about how many like millions of donuts they eat here. They outstrip everybody else in eating donuts. So anyways, that's the little list that I've come up with so far. Like I said, we're very new to the country, and I'll have more different experiences about things over time. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what I missed, and just share your thoughts. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!